So we know in our 70 Cuda that the body numbers match, the dash VIN is original, all of the torque boxes and body numbers are in place, so we feel good that it's a real live 70 V code 446 barrel Cuda. I didn't like the stamping that I saw on the top of the ID pad, so I had Doug and Eli bring the engine and transmission in. That's what we got over here. I want to take time and look at everything carefully. Clear your mind. Erase everything from your mind.
If
this was Men in Black, I'd hit you with one of those things and you'd forget everything so I could work with a clean slate.
It's pretty much how I wake up every day. Anyways.
This is a great opportunity as she's beginning to grow more and more into the role of shop manager. I'd like to acclimate her with what I find, and in real time, not after I found it, but in real time. Jim Root, Slipknot. You're young, you know, right?
It's a band.
Oh, whatever.
Right? Okay, I know Slipknot is a band. Like, it's a band, I've heard of it. I just don't listen to that type of music, so I don't know them. I'm sorry. Okay, I already know that's not gonna go over well, but I don't know.
So this is the ID pad that I want to talk about. Okay, so I've got to try to get that orange pin
How
off.
would you determine
Look at how that comes off of there in sheets.
I don't think that someone could step in and do my dad's job. I mean, I think it would take years and years in training, but I think that it's way overwhelming for me because, I mean, it's like forensic files. You have to know all the little details, what's right to begin with, and that just gets crazy. It's different on every year, different every make of car. It gets insane, so.
Okay, first thing, you see the turquoise paint? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All 440 HPs in 1969, 70, and 71 were orange. That's a non-high performance engine. They didn't even have the decency to get the paint off of it.
Criminals.
Yep.
So at first glance on the engine, the numbers look fine to me because I don't have a trained eye like my dad does to be able to tell, you know, but just by looking at it if it's wrong or right.
Follow the trajectory. Forget the pattern. I'm going to show you big problems with the pattern. That's way too tight of a pattern. See how close the lines are together? Mm-hmm. The factory 10-inch mill was wider apart than that.
It's probably a smaller wheel.
This is a lot bigger.
Oh, bigger.
If I follow that all the way out here, it would be about a 24-inch, 18 to 24-inch mill head. They're too close together. That's number one. I know from doing these cars since I was a little kid that font is something that an aftermarket piece of crap punch set made.
Okay. So
all right. Should have a number right here. Mm-hmm. Then down here in the corner, it should say HP or HP2, high performance first shift or high performance second shift.
Well, to me, it sounds like this is probably worst case scenario for us because it sounds like we're dealing with a fraudulent engine, but it's hard to tell because my dad's just neurotic, so everything is like level 10.
It'll be obvious visually, but I'm still gonna set this.
But then when we compared it to Tony's engine, you could see clear as day how different the font was and the sizes, and all the flaws really came out.
214.214. But you can physically see how much taller these letters are. Let's raise this engine up in the air. Eye height. Oh boy. So when I see that, I'm already getting worried. What's up high doesn't make me happy. Let me look down here. So here you can see it's the July 28th, 1969 casting date. So that's right. We know that the first day of production for 1970 models was August 1st, 1969. Mm-hmm. So this part's right. They found, probably out of a 70 Chrysler New Yorker, they found a non-HP 440. That's why it was turquoise.
But if they're that intelligent, why would they mess up? You know what I mean?
It was 2001 and they didn't, nobody knew back then.
It seems crazy to me that someone would go through all the effort to create a fraudulent engine when they could put that effort into just like getting a good job and being a good employee and all that, but I don't understand people. I definitely don't understand people after working here.
When? See the turquoise?
Yeah.
Well, that was, yeah, nice. Take a look at the 3. It's rounded on the top and rounded on the bottom. Come look at this 3.
Yeah.
See how this one has the flat flag across there, and then it goes in?
So at first, it might seem overwhelming to be able to tell if an engine is correct or not, but when you start going through all the minute details, like the milling on the engine block and the size of the numbers, if all of them are the same size, because that was something that we ran into with that engine, is that one number would be really large and the next one next to it would seem quite small. So that's a red flag, and all those things add up, and if you see one red flag, keep following the trail, you'll probably find the rest.
I think somebody added the 3 and the 8. Look at that 8. The 7 and this 7 and this 1 are the right size. That one, and that one have been put in. Interesting.
That's
A
weird.
little fakery. Call it fakery. So I've got to let him know somebody restamped the engine.
Okay.
This is one of the situations that you don't want to have to call the owner. The numbers, obviously, as I had mentioned, have been stamped in, and not even good. Not a good job. It's a bad forgery. It's a forgery. It's a bad forgery. It's the right date code, but it probably was never an HP engine. There's too much negativity around that engine for me to want to put it back in the car. The stuff that was bolted onto it, like the intake and the exhaust, I can reuse all that. The hardest part from here isn't finding a block, it's calling Jim and letting him know.
I would be scared to death to have to make that call. That would not be the call I want to make. But my dad has a way with words. He's really good at delivering really bad news to people and them taking it okay. So I hope that this goes the same way.
So I know right now I think he's touring in Europe. So I've got to leave him a message, and I'll try to have a phone call with him later this week, hopefully, to let him know what's going on. I'm hoping he doesn't go ballistic, but if he does, I'm more than happy to give him his money back for the deposit, bolt the car back together, and he could take up legal action if he wanted to. I just don't think he will. I'm willing to find an F440 HP and donate it to the cause because my big old dumb heart. That's what I do, you know. I believe in getting the cars as close as we can to the factory. If that means I got to reach in my pocket a little bit, that's okay. It's not about the money. Call. That'd be a good job for you. Call him up and give him the bad news.
No, I don't
Think
even
you'd
talk to him, no.
This is the call only the president can make. Do you know what movie that's from?
I don't know what movie that's from. So I've come to realize that my dad has no original material. I made it into my 20s thinking that my dad was really funny and that he has like all these great jokes and like I would repeat them to my friends. And then I realized like he didn't come up with it, that it was like Rush Hour or Tommy Boy or whatever movie it was. And so yeah, my dad's just recycled. It's not.
Call only a president can make. So he picks up the phone, and he's talking to him, and he says, yeah, it's the president, JFK.
Bye, Dad.
Jack.
I just walk away. When my dad gets too crazy, the best thing to do is walk away because if he has an audience, then he's gonna perform.
Had to tell him, I need you to hold off on this. And he goes, hey, I held off on the Bay of Pigs, man. It was the worst mistake I ever made in my life. Right? But he got him to do it, and that's good. See, there was a lot of manipulation going on there. There was a lot of strategy. John Fitzgerald Kennedy avoided going to war through strategy. What'd you say? What was the question?